This may feel like the safest way to connect right now. And for those of us who are often at home, or this time of the year brings up a lot of illness, or we already have to kind of be separate, yeah, this is a beautiful way to stay connected safely. And I want to share a practice today that keeps it simple. That's really what the times feel complicated. They can feel scary. They can feel overwhelming. I know for me, um, when I'm in overwhelm, I can really shut down. And then I can start to lose track of, what am I feeling? Where is my body? And that's really when health and things can start to spiral out of control, or we can feel out of control at a time when, like, we can't control coronavirus, we can't control any illness, but we can be in our bodies. We can be safe in our bodies, whether or not we're choosing to quarantine, whether or not we're choosing to be around a select few people, whether or not we're choosing to change nothing about our schedule and our lifestyle. There is a way to be able to check in with ourselves. So today, I offer a simple body scan. If you've done a body scan before, you might be like, I know how to do this. Okay, great. We're going to do it together, because in these times, there's a way of feeling this sense that, like, wow, I'm checking in with my body and you're checking in with your body, and we're doing this together. I'm keeping myself safe. I'm taking care of my body so that you can take better care of your body. We're keeping each other safe. That's really what's going on here, is we're looking out for each other by looking out for our own bodies. So a body scan is part of somatic sexology. It's a part of a lot of different practices, a lot of different lineages in the world. It's very simple. So I'm going to do a guided one today, and I'm going to keep it short so that it's a manageable practice for you to keep doing, so that you can watch this video, so that you can skip to where I'm starting the practice and maybe use it every day as like a recurring, okay, let me check in with myself. Let me check in with myself. We can be feeling fear. We can be feeling despair. We can be feeling rage. We can be feeling numbness. That's been a big one for me. Numbness. So overwhelmed by, like, the incapacity to be able to deal with other people's emotions and fears and projections and panic, and like, I can't even feel myself. So safer for the body just to go into numbness. It's like that fight, flight, freeze response. Some of us might be wanting to fight and rile against the media or other people, or people not keeping us safe, or it's somebody's fault. Some of us may be wanting to run away. Oh my God, I just want to quarantine. I want to hide. I want to go somewhere in this world where it's not being affected. Some of us may be freezing. I don't know what to do. My body is getting numb. I feel incapable of making a decision. I don't know if I should quarantine or if I should go out. Should I get a 30-day food supply? That's kind of where I've been in this freeze response. So body scan works for all of that. All right, let's get to it. So in this body scan, you're going to want to be in a comfortable position. So some of us have this idea when we meditate that we have to be sitting upright and, like, things have to be in alignment. Guess what? You can be in alignment laying on your back. You can be in alignment standing up. You may decide for your body scan that you want to be hunched. This is how I've often been. I know that it's a heart protection thing. I'm okay with that right now. So you just be how your body wants to be. So you're going to get into a comfortable posture, whatever that looks like. If you need cushions, if you need blankets, if you need to make sure that you're going to be undisturbed, let's say for like the next 10 minutes, you need to lock a door to emotionally feel safe. You want to put on some relaxing music in the background, or maybe not this time so you can hear me, but maybe when you have this practice, kind of create your little Zen space, okay? There's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm going to give you one version of it. So body scan is just going through and we're noticing. Just noticing. We're not trying to fix or figure out or be like, aha, I knew my heart was closed, or something going on in my gut here. I should probably go to the doctor. We're not trying to, there's no other stories need to be had. We're just feeling what is alive in my body right now in this moment. When we give our bodies this space and time to just feel, then all the things can come to the surface that we're actually being felt, that we really are feeling, but can feel overwhelming when we can't hone in on, oh, I feel this in my chest, and my pelvis feels tight, but my feet feel solid. That gives us information that we can depend on, that we can ground in, that we can use for the rest of our day. To know tightness in my chest, pounding in my head, lightness in my hands. Okay. And maybe we can hone in on, where is there fear? Where do I feel that? What's that sensation? So that's what this practice is. We're just noticing. And I'm going to guide us through bit by bit. Bones, muscles, tissues, nerves, fluids, maybe general spaces. All right, so get into a comfortable posture. I'm going to close my eyes so I can go through and get in this space as well. This is just a body scan, but we're going to drop into the breath first. So in this posture, I invite you just to notice your breath. To notice the inhale. To notice the exhale. If the mind feels busy and caught up, perhaps counting off the breath beat by beat internally. And just being curious, how many beats is my inhale? How many beats is my exhale? Maybe starting to feel into that space between the breath. So noticing the pause at the top of the inhale, before the exhale, and then noticing the pause at the base of the exhale before the inhale arrives. And noticing how that pause feels. What's the quality of it? Is there a visual like crest of a wave? Is the pause different with every breath? And does the quality of it change as we watch it? Letting the breath flow on its own at the pace it's already moving at. And we're just witnessing it. And I invite you to rest in your breath wherever you feel it the most. The chest, is it the nostrils, is it the belly? And allowing yourself to connect to that space, to let that space expand with the inhale and deflate a little bit with the exhale. And maybe now at the same time as you feel this space where you feel the breath, bringing an awareness into the breath in the belly. Letting the belly get bigger than it's normally used to being held. Sometimes under stress or constriction, we start to hold our bellies really tight. We start to have fear there, or we don't want to let go. So maybe just a gentle invite to start to let that space loosen up just a little bit. By just inviting the breath to fill it, and then inviting the breath just to leave at its own pace. This belly breath, maybe noticing where the breath goes after the belly's full. Do we feel the diaphragm? Do we feel the chest? Can we feel the breath in the back body? Does the breath reach the face and head? And can the breath be felt in the opposite direction? As the belly fills, does the breath also go downward? Can we feel it in our pelvic floors, in the pelvic bowl and our genitals, maybe all the way down the legs to the feet? So starting this practice of just noticing, where is the breath flowing? What does that feel like? What is the sense? What do those spaces feel like as they fill with breath? And now we'll begin the body scan. So we'll just let the breath keep breathing us, letting it do its thing. And as if a smaller version of ourselves was floating down through our body, bit by bit, just curiously peeking in at places. So some spaces may call us in for a closer look. Some spaces may name a sensation, like tingling or bubbling or irritation. And then those spaces may also name an emotion or a feeling associated with that. Anxiety, worry, joy. And some spaces may feel numb. And they may tell us to rush past or don't take a closer look. And that is just as valid. So without needing to figure out or fix or attach any stories, we're just going to float through the body and notice. So I invite you now to first start by floating through the crown of your head, down into your brain. You're noticing the neurons, cerebral spinal fluid, the muscles of the head. Down into the back of the eyes, the temples, inner ear, the cheekbones, the jaw, inside the mouth to the teeth and tongue, down the throat and neck, into the trapezius muscles and shoulders, down the arms, the wrists, the hands, into the chest, the heart, the lungs, back through to the upper back, behind the heart, down the spine, to the mid-back, the kidneys, the adrenals, forwards through to the diaphragm, the stomach, the liver, down into the abdomen, the intestines, the bladder, back through to the low back, the sacrum, the tailbone, the hips, the buttocks, the pelvic floor, the anus, the internal reproductive organs, outwards to the genitals, the groin, down into the thighs, the knees, the low legs, ankles, and feet. And then panning out and taking the whole body in at once and breathing with that. And if any one space is coming forward into your consciousness like, oh, me, I want to be noticed. Just noticing that, taking note. Be asking yourself, what is this space coming forward? And then a good question to ask is, what is the felt sense in this place? What am I feeling? Right there in this space that wants to be named. And if that wants to be investigated further, let's say it's a thumping. Let's say the heart space came forward and the sensation was a thumping. I'm going to ask myself, what kind of thumping is that thumping? And then I'm just going to wait for my body to respond. Trying to set aside doubt or disbelief that my body could actually have the answers. And let's say that thumping is a worry. Then I'm going to ask myself, what kind of worry is that worry? And perhaps my body responds that something bad will happen. Then I'm going to ask, what kind of something bad will happen is that something bad will happen? So we just keep going in this way, deeper and deeper, not too deep. When it feels like, okay, that's too much information, my body doesn't want to give me more. Now I'm starting to get overwhelmed. Then we just ask ourselves, what's it like to notice that? So if I get to the worry point, what kind of worry is that worry? And I get an answer and that feels like enough. I say, what's it like to notice that? And because I'm using a real example for me right now, When I ask myself, what's it like to notice that, the first word, the first sensation that comes to me is reassuring. And then I can ask myself, what kind of reassuring is that reassuring? And the answer that comes is, at least now I know. So maybe take yourself on a little journey in this way. It can only be one sensation, it could be many trying to get your attention, just honing in somewhere, going as deep as it feels safe, panning back to say, what's it like to notice that? Taking that little nugget of information about your body that it just gave you, and then coming back to the breath. Feeling the breath in the belly, letting it expand to capacity again, letting it deflate on its own. Perhaps noticing as you breathe out from the belly that the buttocks naturally go down towards the ground. They ground you a little bit more as you inhale in, the belly button comes out, the buttocks go down. Feeling into that. Exhaling, letting them both come towards each other, towards center body. Watching the breath fill the body again wherever it wants to go. And then we'll invite a few more conscious breaths here, maybe breathing into the heart space. Exhaling out with sound if you want. That breath can really drop us in, connect us. Breathing into the belly, doing the same. Breathing down into the pelvis, down into your seat, doing the same. And if the body wants to move, is telling you to roll shoulders or neck or hunch or wiggle or shake, listening, following. And when you feel ready, you can gradually let your eyes come back to this world, this dimension, with really soft gaze, giving yourself time, letting your eyes stay gentle. Taking another breath. Wow. Okay. So this is a way for you to stay in touch with your particular body wisdom, which is different than everybody else's. And it's different every time we do this. Our body always has something new to say if we just pause. So you can do this at a much more manageable, shorter amount of time. You can do this in line at the pharmacy. You don't even have to close your eyes. You just take a couple breaths, drop in through the body. The more you practice this, the quicker you can get of like going through all the spaces, checking in. Ooh, I feel constriction here. I feel expansion here. Okay. That can be enough. That can be enough. And in these trying times, we need simple tools. Like breath, like checking in with the body. Yes, like I got this. So in order for us to feel resilient, in order to feel us to feel like we do have this, we first have to know what's going on. And that can be scary to check in because sometimes we don't really want to know. And if we have families and we need to keep rolling and we got other things and it feels like too much, there's all the reasons we can find to put this off. But You be the judge in this practice that you just did yourself. How do you feel? Do you feel more capable of taking on the world? Do you feel more capable of making wise decisions? Do you feel more embodied? Do you feel more in your pleasure? Do you feel more connected? Do you feel more irritated? It's all welcome. There's no right or wrong. So I offer this to you as a simple practice. This can be something that can be done throughout the day. You can set aside 10 minutes of the timer and do this every day. Start of the day, end of the day. You know when your stressful times arrive. Let me know if you have any feedback, questions, other ways of doing this. Yeah, I trust you and I trust your body wisdom. Thank you for watching. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for being with your body. Thank you for keeping us all safe by being more in touch with your body and your body's wisdom. Okay. Much love to you all.